Shalom. This week we're going to be celebrating Sukkot. The Talmud tells us an interesting fable that takes place in the future. As Mashiach arrives, the Gentiles cry, "No fair," for they never had the opportunity to observe the mitzvot. The Gentiles say before God, "Master of the universe, give us the Torah, and we will perform its mitzvot." God says to them in response, "Fools of the world, do you think you can actually make this request? One who prepares on Erev Shabbat will eat on Shabbat. But one who did not take pains on Shabbat Eve, what will he eat on Shabbat?" The opportunity for performing mitzvot has already passed, and it is now too late to ask to perform them. But even though, says God, I have an easy mitzvah to fulfill, and its name is Sukkah. Go and perform it. Why, the Gemara asks, does God call the mitzvah of Sukkah an easy mitzvah to fulfill? Because performing the mitzvah of Sukkah involves no monetary loss. It's interesting that the mitzvah of Sukkah is called easy. The Mishnah and Pirkei Avos warned, "Be careful with a light commandment as with a grave one, for you do not know the reward for the fulfillment of the mitzvot." In his commentary to this Mishnah, the Rambam wrote, "It is worthwhile to be careful with a mitzvah that you think is quote-unquote light." Why would we think certain mitzvot are light and others grave? It could possibly come from this Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, which says, Ben Hehe said, "According to the labor is the reward." As Rabbeinu Bechaya explained Ben Hehe's statement, according to the amount of pain that a person suffers while involved in observing the Torah and mitzvos, that is the amount of reward he will receive. In the Sefer HaMusar, it is written that wisdom isn't acquired unless studied with great work and turmoil. This is similar to oil, he explained, which a person can't reach unless they crush the olive. We see the same phenomenon by the Jewish people. They didn't merit to receive the Torah until they went through the painful labor of the Egyptian slavery. If a mitzvah doesn't require great expense or great effort, as Sukkah doesn't, we assume it to be a light mitzvah. This isn't true of the four species of the Arba Minim. The Shulchan Aruch wrote if one brought an esrog, which is barely the proper size, meaning it's barely the size of an egg, then found a larger esrog, it is a mitzvah to buy the second esrog if it is up to a third more expensive than the price of the first esrog. There are those who say that if one finds two esrogim for sale and one is nicer than the other, he should spend up to a third extra for the nicer esrog. The Ramah added, one is not obligated to spend an exorbitant amount for an esrog or any other mitzvah. As we are taught, he who wishes to spend should not spend more than a fifth of his wealth. This is true even though if he misses the opportunity for the mitzvah, he will not be able to make it up later. The Magen Avraham maintained that this was true for all mitzvot, not just the etrog. The Torah wrote that even though the Sukkah reminds us of the Exodus, and the Exodus took place in the spring, we celebrate Sukkot in the fall, for that is the rainy season. And in the spring, everyone enjoys sitting outside. By sitting outside in our Sukkot during the cooler weather, we demonstrate that we are sitting in the Sukkah for the mitzvah, not for the enjoyment of sitting outside in nice weather. Based on the definition of an easy mitzvah being defined as one which doesn't cost that much or require that much effort, the festival of Sukkot has one mitzvah which seems easy, living in the Sukkah, and one which seems difficult, the four species. In our service of God, both easy and difficult mitzvot are required. Sukkot is the festival that demonstrates the complete service of God. Chag Sameach.